What if the final game doesn't test your strength but your soul? In the last moments of the Squid Game Season 3 trailer, we see something truly chilling: a single chair, a mirror, and two players holding hands with tears in their eyes. This is not just a game anymore. This is a nightmare built to break you from the inside. The trailer opens with silence. Not the kind that feels peaceful, but the kind that warns you something terrible is coming. There's no music, only the sound of footsteps on cold concrete. A group of new players walks into what looks like a dimly lit hall. Their expressions are blank, but their eyes are full of fear. You can tell this is not their first game. They've seen horror. They've lost people. Now, they've returned either by force or by some twisted reason only the front man understands. Right after this, the camera cuts to a familiar face, Gi-hun, but this time he looks different. His red-dyed hair is now fully black again, and he's wearing the old green tracksuit, not the black coat from the end of Season 2. His eyes aren't just tired, they're haunted. It's clear he's back inside the game. But why? Was he captured? Or did he walk in willingly? The environment around them has changed. The rooms no longer look like colorful children's playgrounds. Instead, everything is cold, metallic, and clinical like a lab or a prison. The walls are gray. The sky above the game arena is fake, covered by a dark dome with flickering lights. It feels like the people behind the games aren't even trying to pretend anymore. This is no longer a game. It's punishment. In the next sequence, we get fast flashes of returning characters. A woman cries as she sees a photo on the wall, maybe someone she lost in a past game. A man punches a wall until his hands bleed. One teenager falls to the ground, trembling as a masked guard stands still, unmoved. All of these moments are shown in seconds, but they hit hard. They show us that this season will be more emotional, more personal, and far more disturbing. Then comes the most surprising visual, a glimpse of a new symbol, painted in blood-red color on the game room floor. It's not the classic circle, triangle, square combo. This one looks like an hourglass, cracked in the middle. Time is running out and something is broken. The trailer doesn't explain what it means, but fans are already guessing it could represent how long someone has to choose, or maybe how quickly someone's life can end in this new version of the game. For a few seconds, we see an overhead shot of the players standing in line. There are fewer people this time, maybe only 60 or 70. That's strange, considering previous games started with hundreds. Could this mean these players were handpicked? Are these the strongest survivors or the most broken ones? The guards, now wearing darker uniforms, lead them into rooms with thick steel doors and no windows. And then the camera zooms in on the front man. He's standing high above in his usual black coat, looking down with a new golden mask. But this mask is different. It has cracks, it has age. And for the first time, we see him pause, like even he is unsure about what's coming. That single moment tells us something very important. The final game may not be under his control anymore. The last part of this opening section shows a new location, an underground tunnel, wet with dripping water and lit by flickering lights. Players are crawling through it, coughing, panicked, while something follows them in the dark. The sound of a mechanical growl echoes in the tunnel. We don't see what it is, but the fear on their faces says enough. This isn't just a new game, it's a new kind of fear. And finally, the screen fades to black with one sentence glowing in red text. One game left, one will leave. That's when the title appears, Squid Game Season 3, and the music kicks in. A slow, haunting piano version of the original theme plays, as if to say, this is where it all ends. And it won't end well, among the flashing chaos and heavy silence of the trailer. It's the faces that tell the real story, faces of people who've seen death too many times. We begin with Gi-hun, the returning winner whose life was changed forever. But this time he isn't fighting to escape. He's fighting to uncover the truth. His eyes don't just carry fear, they carry fire. He walks differently now, shoulders squared, no longer just a player, but possibly a threat to the system itself. There's a moment where he looks up at a security camera and smirks. That 1 second feels like a challenge. He's not here to play. He's here to end the game. Then we see a mysterious new woman. She's silent, tall, and covered in strange tattoo symbols that look like ancient games from different cultures. No one speaks to her, but the way others avoid eye contact with her shows she's dangerous. She wears a half-buttoned uniform like she doesn't care about the rules. One clip shows her staring down a masked guard who actually steps back. That tells us she's not new to violence. Fans are already speculating, was she a winner in another country's version of Squid Game? Is she here as punishment or revenge? A young boy appears next, barely 18, shaking and clearly out of place. He's shown holding on to a childhood photo, crying softly. At first he seems weak, but then there's a scene where he risks his life to help someone across a ledge. That moment catches everyone off guard. It hints that he might become the unexpected heart of the season, the quiet soul who survives not because he's strong, but because he's kind. And in a game designed to destroy kindness, that makes him dangerous in a different way. We also meet a pair of twin sisters, always standing close together. They don't talk much, but they move in sync, eating, walking, even blinking at the same time. One of them wears a cracked pendant, and the other seems to constantly touch her wrist, where a scar forms the shape of a square. Their bond looks unbreakable, but the trailer teases something terrifying. One clip shows only one sister screaming while being dragged away, and the other frozen, unable to help. This could mean the final game will target emotional connections and force players to choose between love and survival. Another returning character appears, but he's a surprise. We thought he died in the last season. A bearded man, barely recognizable, limps into view. His face is scarred, his clothes dirty, and he seems to be hiding something under his jacket. He doesn't look at anyone, but the front man turns to look directly at him. No words are spoken, but something is clear: they know each other. And whatever he's here for, it's personal. In a shocking reveal, we also get glimpses of the VIPs. But this time, one of them isn't wearing a mask. Her face is shown only for a second, but it's enough to cause a stir. She's calm, cold, and completely unbothered by the death happening below. She watches the game with a glass of wine, and next to her sits a boy. The same one we saw earlier holding the photo. Could he be her son? Is this all some twisted plan to toughen him up? The possibilities are horrifying. The guards, too, are no longer just silent enforcers. One younger guard is shown hesitating, shaking as he points a gun. Another one turns off his body cam just before helping a player. These brief flashes suggest something has changed. There are cracks in the armor. The system may not be as united as it once was. And if the people inside the game begin to question the rules, chaos could follow. What's most unique this time is how the trailer focuses on emotion over action. Close-ups of tears, slow-motion expressions of regret, and scenes of quiet despair tell us this season is less about running and more about facing what's inside. These characters aren't just playing to win money, they're fighting guilt, grief, and the question that hangs over every scene: what are you willing to become to survive? The final shot of this section shows all the players in a dark room. Sitting in a circle, the lights flicker. One voice says, "You'll never make it out if you still have a heart." That's when Gi-hun looks at the camera again, and this time he's smiling. It starts in darkness, no bright sets, no colorful symbols. Just the sound of slow breathing, a heartbeat, and a metallic door sliding open. In the trailer's most haunting scene, the players enter what looks like a giant white room. No decorations, no instructions. Just one chair, a single table, and a mirror placed exactly in the center. This is Game 6, and it looks nothing like any game we've seen before. The tension is sharp, because the rules are never said aloud. Instead, a quiet voice plays through hidden speakers. It's not the cheerful doll voice we remember. It's calm, emotionless, almost kind. It says, "The final game is not against each other. It is against yourself." That one line sends chills. For the first time, the players are not asked to move, jump, run, or shoot. They're asked to sit, alone, with a mirror. This is where the horror begins. Each player is called into the room one by one. The trailer shows short glimpses of what happens inside. Some scream, some break down crying. One man throws the chair. across the room shouting, "This isn't fair!" Another just sits and stares at his reflection, unmoving, his eyes full of pain. We don't know what they're seeing, but whatever it is, it's deeply personal. Fans have already begun to speculate. The final game could be a psychological test. A machine reading their minds? A projection of their worst memory? Or perhaps the real twist: each person is shown every death they caused to survive, and is given one final choice: live with it, or give up their life to save someone else. The scariest part: no one wins by being strong. In this game, honesty, regret, and guilt are the weapons. It's not survival of the fittest. It's survival of the most broken. Whoever accepts their truth and still walks out alive might be the only one allowed to leave. One scene in the trailer is especially disturbing. A woman sits in front of the mirror, whispering to herself. Her hands are shaking. She repeats a name again and again, likely someone she lost. In a previous game, then, a drawer opens under the table. Inside it, a red button. Her eyes widen. We don't see what the button does, but the voice says, "You may end your game now, or face your reflection until the truth breaks you." What does that mean? Does pressing the button let them die? Or does it make them live with their guilt forever? Either way, it's not a simple children's game anymore. This is something much darker. Something designed to shatter the soul. We then see a montage clips of several players making different choices. One smashes the mirror. Another stabs themselves with a sharp object. A third falls to their knees, crying out a loved one's name. Over these shots, the voice says one haunting line: "You are not here to win. You are here to see who you really are." There's also a strange new symbol glowing faintly on the wall. It looks like a combination of the triangle and square, but twisted, like it's been mirrored or reversed. It may be a hint. Everything the players thought they knew is now upside down. The rules no longer matter. This game is a trap, and the only way out is through unbearable truth. The trailer offers one final clue. In the very last seconds, Gi-hun enters the room. But instead of sitting, he walks over to the mirror and turns it around. Behind the glass, a small screen showing the faces of the other players. They're watching each other's tests in secret. That means trust is gone, privacy is gone, and maybe their votes or reactions decide who leaves alive. The music slows down, the screen goes black, and in red letters the final line appears: "You cannot win what you never understood." This is not a game. This is a reckoning. Asterisk: for the first time, the front man doesn't look in control. In the final moments of the trailer, his mask, usually perfect and sharp, is chipped at the edge. A small crack runs from the eye down to the mouth. That crack says more than any line of dialogue. It means this game, this carefully built nightmare, is starting to fall apart, and behind that golden mask, we catch the quickest glimpse of his real face, just a flash, but enough to recognize the weight of regret. But he's not alone. In this new season, there's a shift in power. The trailer reveals other masked figures cloaked in rich colors we haven't seen before. Deep violet, gold-trimmed red, and shadowy silver. These aren't guards. These aren't VIPs. They seem older, higher, almost like a hidden council behind the whole operation. One of them speaks only once, saying, "Emotion is the virus. Eliminate it or it will spread." It's cold. It's inhuman. And it sets the tone for what's really happening behind the scenes. But what shocks the most is the brief moment when one of the guards, just a normal triangle, removes his mask and sets it down on the floor. He doesn't run. He doesn't speak. He simply turns around and walks toward the players' hallway. It's not rebellion, it's surrender. Like even the enforcers are tired of being part of something this cruel. That scene alone makes the viewer wonder, who's really trapped in this game? Just the players? Or everyone? And then comes the biggest twist. A clip near the end shows Gi-hun being led not to a game room but to a control room. Walls of screens. Footage from every corner. A single chair sits in the center. On one screen we see the young boy from earlier. On another, the tattooed woman. Every face, every choice watched, controlled. Gi-hun is offered the chair. A voice says, "You've played well, now direct the next game." Is this the end of the cycle or the start of a worse one? Is the game giving him power or testing if he'll become the very thing he hated? The trailer flashes faster now. A VIP slaps another across the face. Guards shout in confusion. One of the twins escapes through a narrow vent. The mirror room is suddenly on fire. A new player screams into the camera, "This isn't a game anymore." And just before the trailer ends, we see it one final symbol etched in blood on the wall, Omega, the Omega. The end dot, it's a reminder. No one ever truly wins in Squid Game. You either die or become a part of it dot, then darkness dot, and a whisper. Next. Is you? That one line flips the trailer on its head, making it personal, making it terrifying, and leaving us with only one question. If you had to face the darkest part of yourself, would you survive?